Okay, so I have a confession. I once stayed at a job for almost 2 extra years without asking for a raise just because I had no idea how to even start that conversation.
Oh, Leo, that's so common though. So many people feel completely stuck on this one.
Right? Like I knew I deserved it, I just didn't know how to say it without sounding either too aggressive or too unsure of myself.
That's such a real struggle. And honestly, it's not really about your English level, it's about not having the right phrases ready.
Exactly, and that's exactly why today's episode exists.
Hey everyone, I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo, and today we're talking about how to ask for a raise in English, confidently, professionally, and without freezing up halfway through the sentence.
Because this conversation can genuinely change your career, but only if you actually have it.
Right, and a lot of people avoid it for years, just like I did, simply because the words don't come easily.
So today, we're giving you the actual language, how to open the conversation, how to talk about your value, and how to handle it if your manager says no.
By the end of this, you'll have a clear, confident script in your head for this exact moment.
And if you're new here, welcome. We make English learning feel like hanging out with friends, not studying from a boring textbook.
So if that sounds good, go ahead and subscribe. We post episodes like this all the time.
And before we get into it, comment below and tell us, have you ever wanted to ask for a raise but just didn't know how to start?
We really want to know we're not the only ones who felt that way. Okay, Mia, let's start with the obvious question. Why does this conversation feel so much scarier than other work conversations?
Honestly, it's because it feels personal. You're not just talking about a task or a project, you're talking about your own worth, kind of.
Oh, that's so true. It feels like I'm asking, do you think I'm valuable instead of just, can I have more money?
Exactly, and that emotional weight makes people overthink every single word.
Which is exactly why having ready-made phrases helps so much. You're not inventing the sentence in the moment.
Right, you're just filling in your own details into a structure that already works.
Okay, so where do we even start? Like, how do you open this conversation naturally?
Good question. You don't want to just walk in and blurt out, I want a raise. That can feel really abrupt.
Yeah, that's basically what I was scared of doing.
So instead, you ease into it. Something like, do you have a few minutes sometime this week? I'd love to talk about my role and compensation.
Oh, role and compensation sounds so much more professional than just money.
Exactly, and it signals that this is a planned, serious conversation, not just a random request.
What if I want to set up the meeting first, separately?
Even better, honestly. You could say, could we schedule some time to chat about my growth and compensation here?
That sounds so calm and prepared.
That's exactly the tone you want. Calm, prepared, not nervous or apologetic.
Okay, let's say the meeting's happening now. How do I actually open it once we're sitting down?
You could say, thanks for making time for this. I wanted to talk about my role and where my compensation stands.
That's a really clean opening.
It is. It's direct, but it's not aggressive. It tells them exactly what's coming, so there's no confusion.
I like that it doesn't sound like I'm sneaking up on them with it.
Exactly. That's the goal. Confidence, not confrontation.
Okay, quick recap so far. Instead of just blurting it out, we ease in with phrases like talk about my role and compensation or chat about my growth here.
Exactly. And notice none of these sound nervous or apologetic. They sound like something a confident professional would say.
Right, because that's the energy we want going into this.
Exactly. Okay, now here's the part a lot of people find even harder, actually talking about your value.
Oh, this is the part where I always freeze. Like, how do I talk about how good I am without sounding like I'm bragging?
Such a common fear, but here's the secret. You don't talk about how good you are, you talk about what you've actually done.
Wait, what's the difference?
So instead of saying, I'm really hardworking and talented, which sounds vague and a little boastful, you say something specific, like, over the past year, I led the project that increased our client retention by 15%.
Oh, so facts instead of opinions about myself.
Exactly. Facts feel confident, not arrogant, because you're just stating what happened.
That's such a relief, honestly, because talking myself up always felt so uncomfortable.
It is for a lot of people, but specific results basically speak for themselves.
Can you give me another phrase for this part?
Sure, you could say, since taking on this role, I've also started managing 2 new accounts, and I'd love to talk about how that's reflected in my compensation.
That's connecting the achievement directly to the raise request. That's smart.
Exactly. You're not just listing accomplishments randomly, you're building a case.
Okay, let me try one. Let's say I improved a process that saved the team time every week. I'd say I redesigned our onboarding process, which cut new hire training time by almost a week.
That was great, Leo.
See, I'm learning too.
There's also a phrase for when you want to mention market value, like, based on my research, I believe my role is currently compensated below market rate.
Oh, that one sounds a little intimidating to say out loud.
It can feel that way at first, but it's actually really respected in professional settings, especially if you've done your research.
So it's less about demanding and more about presenting information.
Exactly. Presenting information is the perfect way to think about this whole conversation.
Okay, now here's a mistake I think a lot of people make, including me, apologizing way too much before even asking.
Oh, that's so common. Like saying, I'm so sorry to even bring this up, but...
Yeah, exactly that. It immediately makes the whole request sound weak.
Right, because you're basically apologizing for advocating for yourself, which sends the wrong message before you've even started.
So the fix is just not apologizing at all.
Pretty much. Replace the apology with confidence. Instead of, sorry to bring this up, try, I wanted to take a moment to talk about something important to me.
That completely changes the energy of the whole sentence.
It really does. And here's something else. Pace and tone matter just as much as the words themselves.
Oh, like not talking too fast because I'm nervous.
Exactly. Speaking slowly and clearly actually makes you sound more confident, even if you're nervous on the inside.
That's such a good point. Slow down to sound sure, even when you're not.
Exactly that. Okay, now let's talk about the scariest part for most people. What happens if they say no?
This is the part that stops me from even asking in the first place. Like, what if they just say, not right now?
It happens, and it's actually really common. But here's the thing, that's not the end of the conversation, it's the start of a different one.
What do you mean?
Instead of just accepting no and walking away, you could say, I understand. Could we talk about what it would take to get there in the next few months?
Oh, that turns a rejection into a plan.
Exactly. It shows you're not giving up, but you're also being professional and patient about it.
What if they're vague and just say something like, we'll see?
Good catch. You can gently push for clarity with, that makes sense. Would it be possible to check in 3 months to revisit this?
That's so smart because it sets a clear follow-up instead of just hoping they remember.
Exactly, and it shows initiative, which actually works in your favor long term.
Okay, I think I'm ready for the trick that's going to make this whole conversation stick forever.
Perfect, because here's the thing that completely changed how I think about this conversation.
I'm ready.
Think of asking for a raise like presenting evidence in a calm court case, not begging for a favor. You're not asking for charity, you're presenting facts and letting them speak.
Wait, say that again? Evidence, not a favor?
Exactly. Evidence, not a favor. Say it with me.
Evidence, not a favor.
Try repeating that to yourself before your next raise conversation. Comment below if you think this mindset shift will help you.
Okay, should we practice this together now?
Yes, let's do it. Quick recap first. Open calmly, talk about value with specific facts, skip the apologies, and if they say no, turn it into a follow-up plan. And remember, evidence, not a favor.
Got it. Okay, here's a scenario. I'll be the manager. So, what did you want to talk about today?
Thanks for making time. I wanted to talk about my role and where my compensation stands, especially with everything I've taken on this year.
Nice, that was confident and clear. Okay, now let's say I push back a little. Things are tight right now, budget-wise.
I completely understand. Could we revisit this in a few months and talk about what that path could look like?
That was perfect. You didn't get defensive at all.
Thank you. Okay, your turn, Leo. I'll ask, why do you think you deserve a raise right now?
Okay. Over the past year, I took on 2 additional accounts and improved our process turnaround time by almost 20%.
That was so good. Facts, no apologies, totally confident.
I actually feel like I could do this for real now.
You really could. Okay, pause the video right now and try writing your own version using your actual achievements. Comment it below. We genuinely love to read them.
Yeah, we read every single one. Okay, one more, a slightly harder one. What if the manager just goes completely silent after you ask?
Ooh, that's a real one. In that case, you just stay calm and let the silence sit for a second. Then you could add, I'm happy to share more details if that's helpful.
Oh, that's smart because it doesn't fill the silence with nervous rambling.
Exactly. Silence isn't always bad. Sometimes it just means they're thinking.
That's such a relief to hear, honestly.
Okay, let's wrap this up. So today you learned how to open the raise conversation naturally without just blurting it out.
And how to talk about your value using specific facts instead of vague self-praise.
Plus, how to handle pushback calmly by turning it into a clear follow-up plan.
And don't forget, evidence, not a favor.
Honestly, this is the kind of conversation that can genuinely change your career trajectory.
It really can. And if this helped you, we make new episodes like this regularly.
So go ahead and subscribe if you want more real, practical English for real workplace moments.
And before you go, comment below with the achievement you'd actually use if you asked for a raise tomorrow.
Yeah, seriously, we read every single one, and we love seeing how far you've come.
All right, we'll see you in the next episode.
Keep practicing, and remember,
You've got this.
you've got this.